Triple-header action today on CBS on the road to the Final Four. We join you from Lexington, Kentucky, and a matchup from the SEC. The Florida Gators taking on the Kentucky Wildcats. And welcome to Rupp, everybody. Ian Eagle along with former Duke All-American Jim Spanarkel. 1 week away from Selection Sunday, and we've got probably the ultimate bubble battle that you can find on the board. These are two teams that very well could be fighting for their NCAA tournament lives here this afternoon. Jimmy, it's senior day for Kentucky, and the Wildcats do rely on their senior leadership.
They do, Ian, and the thing about senior day is they have to be careful to check their emotions. You have Ramel Bradley and Joe Crawford. Bradley just likes to have the ball in his hands. He likes to attack. He likes to shoot the jumper. He can make things happen. Crawford, on the other hand, is a guy who likes to bang down deep, but can step away and hit the long-range jumper when necessary.
Two-time defending champion Florida got off to a great start this season. They've struggled of late. A lot of youth on this team, and they're going to look to one of their freshmen to lead the way this afternoon.
And it's going to be Nick Calathis, who's a guy who can do it all for Billy Donovan's team. He's one of these guys who has a great understanding of passing the basketball, the understanding the overall game, will shoot the jump shot, but watch his passes. He will make some dandies throughout the course of the afternoon. But the key thing for him is whether he can get the Florida tempo going up and down. Kentucky would like to slow this game down.
And today's game is being brought to you in HD TV by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Florida and Kentucky starting lineups and opening tip coming up. 7 straight wins for the Gators over the Wildcats. No team has ever beaten Kentucky in a straight. We'll have the action for you next on CBS. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Chevy and American Revolution. Yellow Book. Wherever you look, Yellow Book. For more information, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. And by Pacific Life. For insurance, annuities, and investments, choose Pacific Life. The power to help you succeed. Snow blanketed the area yesterday. That's like a postcard, although it didn't feel like a postcard as we were driving through it 24 hours ago. The Battle of the Billies here this afternoon. Billy Donovan trying to get his team into the NCAA tournament. They are looking for their 10th consecutive appearance in the Big Dance. Let's take a look at our Liberty Mutual starting lineups for the Gators. That 3-guard set, Lucas, Calathis, and Hodge up front. Maurice Spates and Dan Warner willing to bang on the inside. For the Kentucky Wildcats, the seniors, Crawford and Bradley on senior day. And then Harris, Curry, and Jasper, the depth on this team being tested for first-year head man Billy Gillespie. Take a look at their tournament profile. Record of 17-11. What they've done in conference play, impressive. Their RPI is good. Strength of schedule is excellent. Key wins this season over Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Is it enough to get them into the NCAA tournament? We talked to Gillespie about it earlier. He said that's not our focus. Our focus is Florida. Mike Stewart, Joe Lindsay, Tom Eads, the officiating crew. It's Florida and Kentucky.
And when you factor in the fact of the injuries that Kentucky has gone through, that adversity, if you will, they are a defensive team. Even with limited guys on the bench in terms of depth, they're going to try to slow the tempo down as much as possible in this game this afternoon.
And Florida controls the tip. Backdoor cut. Hodge met there by white jerseys. Calathis will set up the offense. What a freshman season he's having out of Winter Park, Florida.
They're all pretty good passes for the Gators, too. The bigs can pass it down deep, and so can Werner out front.
8 to shoot. Werner had his pocket picked by Bradley. Here comes the senior for Kentucky. Pull up pop. And it's rebounded by the freshman Lucas. Lucas hurries up and knocks down the triple to open play.
One of the things that's exactly what Florida would like to do. Now you see them extending a little bit with a 2-2-1 look. To just try to slow Kentucky down. You don't have to do that. Just take a little time off the clock. They're not really in a hurry.
Curry nearly lost it. This team playing without the freshman Patrick Patterson, stress fracture in his left ankle. And Jody Meeks missing his 18th game with a hip injury. That pass is intercepted by Hodge.
Little floater right there. That's a dangerous, slow pass. Not against Florida's extended pressure on the perimeter.
Calathis, the penetration, and the lay-in.
Well, and that's what you're going to see him. You're going to see Calathis make nice basketball plays. If you notice at the end of that, it's just a simple drive through the lane. But at the very end of it becomes the basketball play to get his body in front of people. So watch for that this afternoon. He's very tricky and just understands how to play this game.
The emotions of senior day, you went through it at Duke. You know, the idea that in one moment, tears are welling up in your eyes, and the next moment, you got to go out and play.
Well, that's why you'd like to see a close-in shot by a couple of those guys like Crawford and Bradley get something going to the hoop.
They can't get into their offense. Shot clock's down to 2. Bradley looking to make it happen. He won't get a shot off.
Now, one of the things that Kentucky has done pretty well this season, especially of late, is situations like that for Billy Gillespie's team. Last 5 seconds of a shot clock, they've been able to get shots off, so they will stretch the possession out. But you know, on your home floor, maybe a little senioritis there, getting a little in the way. But you're right about the nerves, Zion. It does affect the seniors. There's no way to get around it.
Lucas was looking to drive. Now it's Warner. Backdoor, Calathis, and a foul call. Florida is coming off an 89-86 loss to Tennessee on Wednesday night. And a tough loss for a team that led by as many as 16 in the first half. Let's take a look at their resume. 21-9. Got off to the terrific start, but they've cooled off. 8-7 in conference play. The key wins, one of them in overtime against Kentucky. Another victory over Vanderbilt. Calathis, 73% shooter. You'd think that number would be higher. Foul was called on Ramon Harris. Calathis, two-time Mr. Basketball in the state of Florida. Comes in averaging just under 16 points per game, leading the SEC with 6 assists per game.
And also put up huge numbers in the first contest against Kentucky, just coming shy by a couple of rebounds and a couple assists of a triple-double. So
Crawford, pull-up jumper, and it goes down. Joe Crawford had a career-high 35 in a 71-63 win at South Carolina on Wednesday night. And Kentucky is on the board. Post-up, Spates, and a jump hook for Maurice Spates. He has lived up to the promise in this, his sophomore season.
18 points, 9 rebounds over the last 3 games. He has stepped up and improved his game as the season's gone on. So a good post-up player for Florida down deep.
And an 8-2 lead for Florida. Here's Jasper, the versatile sophomore. Now Harris looking to set things up. 10 to shoot.
Working that shot clock again. I'm not so sure if they want to go this slowly with it, though.
Mismatch. Bradley gets around Spates. Got some contact. And his runner wouldn't go. 8-2 Gators. Florida 3 of 3 from the field.
You know, and against Tennessee a couple of games ago, they started out hitting their first 9 shots. So obviously on the road, it's so important to get to a comfort level early.
15 to shoot. High-low action. Great setup. It's Hodge down low for Spates and the finish.
And what they've basically done here short term is taken the emotion out of this building and out of Kentucky. We'll see how they regroup after the break.
Florida 10-2 lead, a jolt to the Wildcats to open up. Sports and Facebook are bringing you the web's largest bracket competition. Prove you're an expert and get started at facebook.com/brackets or cbssports.com/brackets. Florida's got the early lead on Kentucky. Billy Gillespie, great turnaround that these Wildcats have undergone over the course of his first year helming the program. That 04 recruiting class was star-studded. And 2 of those members, seniors on senior day today, Crawford and Bradley.
You see that little press too that Florida's putting there. It's not much of a press in terms of looking for steals, although they'll take that, but it's just trying to take 8 to 10 seconds off the clock, and it's worked a couple of possessions so far.
Stevenson gives it up, 10 to shoot. Here's Bradley. Tyus now in there for Florida. Jasper lets it fly. Upward.
It may have been a little talk for Billy Gillespie at the break just then. And hey guys, I know we like to work people and make them play defense and slow the tempo down, but let's try getting into something just a little quicker, if you will.
A 44% three-point shooter, Derek Jasper. Calathis Trying to drive in on Crawford. Oh, the lefty delivery. Walter Hodge using the window.
Boy, and that's a difficult shot, too. Never really seemed to have total control with that particular move going to his left there.
Florida yet to miss. Harris. And Stevenson there to clean it up. Perry Stevenson, sophomore, has been forced into extended action out of Lafayette, Louisiana. And a steal. Numbers if they hurry. Bradley leading the break. Jasper getting the step. Lays it in.
Nice timeout by Billy Gillespie. Get these guys playing now. Billy Donovan's squad has to respond with a timeout. He's trying to take that emotion back out of the building, but he lost it here for the last 2.5 minutes.
14:53 mark in this first half. The Wildcats, a late wake-up call, but they're up now. With a 12-9 lead on Kentucky. We're in the first half here at Rupp. Now this Kentucky squad started the season 7-9. They have won 10 of their last 12 since that January loss to Florida in overtime back on the 19th. 81-70. The Gators knocked off Kentucky. Now we talked about their depth being tested. Alex Legion decided to transfer to Illinois. Jody Meeks, the hip injury. Patterson out for his third game. He'll miss the remainder of the season and postseason. Chandler Parsons checks in and knocks down the jump shot. Florida is 6 of 6 from the field. Gators have a 14-9 lead. We'll step aside. Back to Rupp in a moment.
AT&T's Coach's Corner. Hot topics, candid comments, and only on your AT&T handset. This week, the top college coaches around the country discuss greatest players.
The greatest overall talent was Ralph Sampson. I mean, he was 7'4", every bit of it. He was 235, 240 pounds. He was long and he lean. He was skilled.
Access CV on your wireless AT&T phone to watch the complete Coach's Corner video and exclusive NCAA March Madness highlights.
This week, Big Brother has new rules and no more couples. A whole new reason to watch tonight and catch more drama Tuesday and Wednesday only on CBS. SEC teams in the tournament mix. Jimmy, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. Confident those three will be there. How about the bubble teams?
I think Arkansas, we have them on the bubble line. I think they have a real edge in getting in. I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. Florida and Kentucky this afternoon's game, I think it's very important. You know, Florida, for the month of February struggled, so they're trying to come back. They played well against Mississippi State and Tennessee, but lost. So I think they need this one really to kind of separate themselves. It's defending champs. You got to give them an extra look. But Kentucky, I think, is in pretty good shape.
Florida able to jump on that free basketball. Kentucky coughs it up. Calathis. The Gators will not miss. 7 of 7 from the field. And a 17-9 lead.
And I guess you're supposed to come into the opposing building on senior day and get a little rattled. Maybe the emotions would slow you down, but it hasn't. And I think the tempo has been pretty good for Florida to get up and down, space the floor, and do what they need to do.
And Calathis picks up the personal foul out near midcourt. 6 points for the freshman Nick Calathis. And you're right, Billy Donovan's team has sucked the energy out of this venue.
But it can be reignited in a hurry.
Spread the floor. Here's Harris for Kentucky in a matchup with Parsons.
Really don't have a big post-up presence in the sense of going down deep to somebody.
Hard drive. Stevenson couldn't finish it, but a foul called. Perry Stevenson, lanky, slim sophomore.
And you show a little ball fake and you go up and just enough veering to his left, our right, when we look at that he could not dunk it. But that was the intention for him, who's given them, Kentucky, real good numbers off the bench. He averages about 23 minutes, really has done well. And recently against Vandy put up huge numbers for them.
Chandler Parsons called on the personal foul. Stevenson, known more as a shot blocker, very athletic. And misses on a pair of free throws. 76% shooter. And Kentucky comes up empty on that trip. 17-9. Florida in front. In fact, the Wildcats lead the SEC in free throw shooting. Lucas is fouled down the lane. And free throws coming up for the freshman from Houston, Texas.
You'll see Florida set a lot of those high screens like that also, just to trigger the guards. So they allow them, really, Billy Donovan refers to it as 2 point guards, you know, with Lucas out there directing from time to time. And Billy also knows that, you know, when you have Calathis out on the floor, too, he's a 6'6" guy who can look over people with different angles. So a nice combination of point guards on the floor for them.
And Calathis will check in, replacing Walter Hodge. Second foul on Ramon Harris. And we talked about it. Kentucky does not have options coming off that bench.
Yeah, that's why they need Bradley and Crawford. You know, right now they're averaging the last couple of games without the big guy who got hurt in terms of Patterson, you know, averaging about 70% of the scoring load for the last 2 games and about 50% with Patterson.
Here's Crawford trying to get the step, spinning on Mitchell, and he traveled. Turnover, Kentucky, the 4th of this first half for the Wildcats. No flow for Kentucky offensively.
And initially you would think that with, you know, Bradley and Crawford on the senior day that the jitters would be taken over. Now is just about the time, you know, 8 minutes in, that you have to forget about that and start playing. And I'm sure they're trying to forget about it, but now just settle down and play basketball.
Calathis turns it over on the pass. Harris is open. That's a 3.
Booker. Good job there, too, by Bradley coming down the floor, directing things, not taking a forced shot. And once again, it just takes 1 or 2 trips down the floor, a little defensive stop, and all of a sudden the fans are right back behind you here in this building.
18-12. Oh, the lane opened up. Parsons, foul call.
Yeah, fans aren't going to like this call, but it's a correct call. It's just a touch late by a split second, but when you see him drive down the towards the basket, he goes up, he doesn't get hit, but watch now, he does get hit. The fans, especially the ones who are sitting way up high in this building, when they look down, they don't see that, but you have to be down low to be able to detect the foul.
Well, they just saw it on the big board. They didn't like it again.
There is a reason, though, that the officials are on the floor and not upstairs.
Really?
Makes it a little easier.
Tremendous insight, Jimmy.
I'm all over it.
Derek Jasper called on the foul. Florida 7 of 7 from the field, but 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Parsons is a 68% shooter. And we'll get a substitution. Parsons will sit for Florida. He's replaced by Adam Allen, freshman for freshman, a young Gator team. This is a revamped roster. Team that won back-to-back national championships under Billy Donovan.
And Billy Donovan knows the only way they're going to get better is being in places like this and going through the experience as a team.
So foul called. It is Mitchell picking it up. Yeah, Billy mentioned that yesterday when we sat down with him. To get hardened, to get tough, to truly become a team, you have to go through moments like this. Going into Rupp with a crucial game at stake. Maybe a game that could be the difference to get you into the NCAA tournament. Crawford rejected. Maurice Spates swatted. Warner will come back in for Florida, and he replaces Mitchell.
That's usually that second guy in who steps across and comes in to help out his teammate, but you have to deflect, you have to bump along the way.
Crawford got a good look at it, rims out. 19-12, Florida. Gators still have not missed from the field. Here's Jay Lucas. Fans thought Allen walked, no call. Inside, Spence is fouled.
Well, there's one thing the fans don't like, Ian, is the fact that they're not getting all the calls. Billy Gillespie with a little smile on the face there, but one thing Florida is doing, they're mixing it up and they're attacking the glass. That's why they're getting good results on the calls.
Harry Stevenson picks up the foul. Spates will shoot free throws, looking to add to Florida's lead when we come back to Lexington. Monday, March 17th, it's time to laugh again. TV's best comedies are back with all new episodes. The jokes are on us. Monday, March 17th, here on CBS.
And it's no joke the way Florida came out shooting the basketball. They came ready to play this afternoon. The environment here really not affected. You're seeing good open shots. You're seeing passing of the basketball. They like to get off the quick start. A pretty high percentage one right there for Spates to finish things off. So comfort zone, comfort level for Billy Donovan right now. I'd say it's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Not over by a long shot, though, but it's okay right now.
As you mentioned, they made their first 9 shots against Tennessee. They were up 20-8 in that game, only to see the Volunteers come back and win 89-86. Calathes had 24 points and 9 assists in that one. Spates had 21 points and 7 rebounds. He's got 5 here. How much did he benefit his freshman season in practice going against the likes of Horford and Noah? And you're seeing it pay off in this his sophomore season out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Florida gets largest lead, 21-12.
I think you got to go by this little trap and then attack right there and turn and go. You have a 3-on-2 opportunity.
Now, unable to capitalize on that secondary break. Settle into the half court. Here's Crawford, lines it up and knocks it down. A 3.
See, on this particular afternoon, I think Joe Crawford, and I think you'll see it, will get more and more involved as we get past this, first 10 minutes of this game, because I think the jitters are over. Let him go and see if he can have a big senior day.
Here's Lucas with 16 to shoot, under 11 minutes to play in this first half. Florida 21, Kentucky 15. Lucas on the crossover, driving to the hoop. And first miss of the day for the Gators.
Pretty good defensive work there from the perimeter all the way to the big guys. Nice cut.
Riley takes the opening for the layup.
You love to be in the point guard situation, Ian. If you get the ball in the middle of the floor, it opens up a world of opportunity for you. What a great little hesitation and finish.
Wildcats are shooting 58% from the field.
You think you play defense a little harder, it's going to go the other way right here. But how about the energy that the fans are giving these guys? Billy Gillespie joining in. But all of a sudden, the adrenaline has just shot up a couple of notches here.
Each team has turned it over 4 times. Spates is called on his first for Florida. We'll see Jonathan Mitchell check in as Billy Donovan continues to mix and match.
See, part of what this is designed to do here, too, we talked about it a moment ago. You go past this little wave, and then you try to attack. But does Kentucky want to get it to a quick attack is the other part of that. So basic fundamentals say you got a 3-on-2, go with it. But they don't want to get Florida up and down in a transition-type game.
Stevenson for Jasper. Crawford, the 3-year starter. 9 to shoot. They blitz on Bradley.
Oh, great block.
Stevenson rocks the rim.
Boy, did Bradley ever take the ball away from the basket with a purpose just then.
And a block underneath. Parsons couldn't get it off cleanly. Last touch by Kentucky.
You see how quickly Florida got down the floor just then. That's what they would like to do. But here's that little dish and then that quick zip pass down the middle of the floor. Well executed. And sometimes, if you're looking at it with a purpose, you can veer away east to west from the basket.
It's a 7-0 run. Calathes and Parsons 2-man game. Former high school teammates. And traveling the call against Mitchell, the sophomore from Mount Vernon, New York. 5th Florida turnover.
A team that started mature is playing a little young right now in the last 2 or 3 possessions down the floor. Let's see if Billy Donovan's team can regroup.
That might be the story of their season.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Bradley gets it across for Crawford. 21-19.
Likes the bump.
In a crowd. Crawford counted and a foul.
And Joe Crawford can shoot the ball very well, from all parts of the floor. He's 36% from 3. He likes the outside also. But take a look at this. This is Joe Crawford. Look at him searching for bumps. He gets 2 of them along the way and then finishes it off. But he's not afraid to go find the hits.
Foul called on Walter Hodge. Crawford comes up short. And rebound controlled by Parsons. It's a 9-0 run.
That's one of those Jasper in the background just then. You don't want to kind of reach around the guy with the official standing right behind you.
And a waste of a foul.
Yeah, there's no need. I mean, nothing's going to happen there.
Second personal on Derek Jasper. And now he is forced to the bench, replaced by sophomore Michael Porter from Modesto, California.
And sometimes, in an odd sort of way, the crowd and getting you revved up, sometimes it can work against you. I think that may have been it. He was so anxious to get involved with the play.
We are tied at 21. Spates turns and connects. Maurice Spates.
A little pop in space there. Nice little set by Florida.
8 points for Spates. Florida leads by 2. Crawford against Hodge. Long three. And it's rebounded by Spates.
And Joe Crawford's trying to bring the roof down on this place if he hit that shot.
Here's Calathis. Had a screen. Warner. Pick and pop. A lot of backdoor cuts. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Gators.
Yeah, you slide a pass like that, it's a good set again, but if you slide one of those passes with Spates in that particular play, down below the knees, in that knee area, you're never going to be able to get the consistency of completion on plays like that.
Does this feel like a tournament game to you?
It does. Yeah, it's got a lot of movement in it. Yeah, it's that time already. A week short, but let's call it.
Here's Bradley way outside, matched up with Calathis. 23-21, Florida. Ball movement. Porter. Looping feed. Stevenson's got it. Baker goes and one.
Well, Porter put that ball up in the air for a while, but it was a good look in terms of trying to send him towards the basket. You take a look at a little high arcer, and how about Stevenson staying with this play? I mean, that's a play that Florida did not have any real good weak side help where they would have been able to steal that basketball. But once again, you look at the numbers. He's worked his way up. He's leading the team in blocks, but works his way up in the conference, the third leading shot blocker, so making the most of only 23 minutes of action.
Second foul on Nick Calathis, and he'll take a seat. Exits with 6 points, 1 assist. Crafty freshman, that passing ability that you talked about at the top of the show, high basketball IQ. And now Stevenson with a chance to complete the three-point play. First lead of the day for Kentucky. 24-23 Wildcats. 12-2 run. Warner, they surround him on a skip pass. Lucas nails it, a triple.
Terrific skip pass just then, also by Warner just then. I mean, bring guys to the middle of the floor. 1 or 2 dribbles is enough to get guys going deep.
Parsons trying to jar it loose, knocked out of bounds off of Florida. It'll be Kentucky ball when we come back. Well, living up to the hype so far, 26-24, Gators in front. Right now, let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Both of these teams shooting lights out so far. Florida 9 of 11, Kentucky 10 of 16. Spates leading the way with 8 for Florida. Crawford has 7. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarkel here at Rupp. Two teams fighting to get into the NCAA tournament. It's got that feeling so far.
It sure does, and especially the way Florida came out. They made that quick statement in the way they started in shooting the basketball, but you have to give Kentucky some credit on their home floor, obviously, but they weathered that short-term storm, and now we come out with a different look. Nice move here by Billy Donovan to change things up defensively and go with the zone. It's like a little bit of a matchup zone out front, especially.
26-24, Gators with the lead, 7:25 to play in this first half. Shot clock is down to 4. Stevenson, another clean look. Another jam.
Well, one of the things about Stevenson is he steps to the middle of the floor, looks for the ball, but he's not in a hurry when he catches it. He's quick, but he's not rattled in traffic in particular.
9 points and 2 blocks for Perry Stevenson. Hodge gives it up. Warner, long 3. And rebound controlled by Stevenson for Kentucky.
Nice work there by the white shirts of Kentucky. 4 guys around the glass.
Wildcats with a chance to regain the lead.
You know, this is how they have to win with the lack of depth that they have with their injuries.
Crawford. And Warner. Good bulk on the interior for Florida.
Well, a good-looking shot, too, as far as a miss goes for Crawford. I'd still keep looking for my shot if I were him.
Warner. His pass deflected. Break opportunity. Here comes Kentucky. And Parsons going after it hard. Out of bounds. So Kentucky will hold on to it. Near the end of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution. We are tied at 26. Here's Crawford matched up with Hodge. Crawford off the dribble. And the floater. He was looking for the call.
Well, if he gets Hodge there at 6 feet tall, you know, when you look at Crawford at 6'5", he's got the springs to get up, but more importantly, he's got the strength to set that jumper up, even though that was a tougher one than the one that he shot from the right side.
He's averaging better than 20 points per game over his last 10. It's been a roller coaster ride for him at Kentucky. And right now it's on a high. Warner is fouled. A reach in on Harris. Well, the emotions of senior day. Ramel Bradley, New York City product. Joe Crawford out of Detroit. Two big city kids that came to Lexington, and they have become very popular figures here in the Bluegrass State. Their families on hand. Wonderful moment. Oh, Lucas has to go back to get it. And Bradley nearly able to tip it off Lucas out of bounds.
I always thought your inbounds plays are in trouble when you have to throw it 75 feet to get it inbounds.
Harris for Kentucky playing with 3 fouls. Here's Parsons. The drive. And rejected. It's Stevenson. Do not go in there.
He will.
Goaltending.
Well, don't go in the other end, but Crawford's starting to warm it up. Now here's a guy with multi-talents. The ability to play off the defensive end of the floor. And here's that strong drive, but watch the close up top. Boy, great recognition there by Kentucky defensively. Stepping across and triggering it the other way for Crawford's delivery.
It is an 18-5 extended run. Crawford in double figures with 11. 23,000 on their feet at Rupp. The back end. Tyus jump hook. Warner tips it to himself. And a reset for Florida.
Somebody's got to help them out, though.
And knocked out of bounds off of Kentucky with 4:51 remaining in this first half. Joe Crawford. This is a young man who considered transferring his freshman season. I remember doing a Kentucky game right after that became public. Crawford went home and had to be talked back into coming to the program. And is he ever glad that he came back for 4 emotional years here in Kentucky. It's out of bounds. Florida just careless.
Yeah, careless with it. Very well defended. Billy Donovan's squad in trouble a little bit here in terms of the momentum has totally shifted, and not a bad number on senior day the way they come out and play with that 82-5 all-time record. Oh, I want to sign up for a senior day here.
8th Florida turnover in this first half. Crawford
may have stepped though, did he? Or no?
A.J. Stewart, the freshman, getting some playing time out of Jacksonville, Florida. And he'll go to the free throw line. Foul called against Dan Werner, his first.
Look at the shovel pass there by Crawford. And a nice attack. Once again, now, you know, in that first part of this game, Florida was doing a better job of getting to the paint and challenging for their shots. Now all of a sudden Kentucky, after that first 6 minutes or so, starting to do a much better job of looking inside first, then working the outside.
Stewart, limited playing time in his freshman season, 54% free throw shooter. And Kentucky now 1 of 6 at the line. A 4-point lead with 4.5 remaining in this first half. There's Parsons, tight, suffocating defense from Kentucky. Spates left hand, no. Battle for it. And rebound controlled by Stewart.
And Palacios still on the bench over there for Florida with those 2 fouls. And I think Billy Donovan's trying to keep this game close for a half. and maybe not risk him getting that third foul, which I think is a good move if you can keep the score close.
Crawford gets the step. Slammed down. A.J. Stewart cleans it up.
It's all about Crawford, though, leading the charge again. A terrific baseline drive. Defensively, you must react, and that opens up.
Warner, a three. Rebound to Porter. How will the youth of Florida handle this situation? 3.5 remaining first half. Look at all the white jerseys converging. But the ball squeaks out to Lucas.
Yeah, good decision to slow this down right now by Lucas.
Hodge, the most experienced player on this Florida team, the junior. 2 national titles. The elder statesman.
You got to start looking for Spates a little bit more.
7 to shoot. And a foul call as Lucas was using the Spates screen. It'll be Bradley picking up his first. 8-0 run for Kentucky, and everybody is contributing for the Wildcats in this first half. Access CV on your wireless AT&T phone to watch the complete Coach's Corner video and exclusive NCAA March Madness highlights. And coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel and Seth Davis, all the latest scores and highlights, plus an AT&T Naismith Watch update. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. This is when they usually roll the cots into the studio because Greg, Seth, Clark, it's wall to wall.
It is. It's a long, long day, but it's a fun day. I mean, the adrenaline's flowing there also, and I'm sure they're looking forward to it already, as we are, in a week or so.
Extended run is now 20-5 for Kentucky, and the numbers didn't really work early because Kentucky, one of the best in the nation, field goal percentage defense. Florida opens up 7 of 7 as Lucas makes the first free throw. But they have hit on 2 of their last 9, including 5 straight misses from the field. Lucas, 8 points, just below a season average of 8.7. McDonald's All-American, the son of former NBA standout John Lucas. Brother John Lucas Jr., of course, a star at Oklahoma State. And he goes 1 out of 2 at the line, 32-27, Kentucky.
We slide back into the matchup right here. Try to close down the middle of the floor if they can.
Bradley shoots over the zone and can't hit the 3. Rebounded by Parsons for the Gators. Lucas, natural point guard, great vision, good decision maker. Here's Mitchell, another youngster, a sophomore. 12 to shoot.
See how close Lucas was catching that ball at the half-court stripe.
Spates will set a high screen. And a moving one.
You see, a lot of times the big gets the call, and he's going to get the responsibility of doing something incorrectly as he picks up his second foul, but you have to wait for him to get there. Watch how quickly the little guy takes off. Give it a second to let the big guy, Spates in this example, stop, position himself, and that way you save him that extra foul. But another good move here by Billy Donovan. Get him off the floor. With 2 minutes and change left, you can't take any chances. You need him and Calafis ready to go into the second half with only 2 fouls and not 3.
Well, let's see if this 5-point game turns into an 8, 9, or 10-point game before the half. Calafis and Spates on the bench for Florida.
That's why they're going zone right now. They're trying to get this ball away from the basket, not allow an easier drive to the basket, force Kentucky to try the long-range shot.
10 to shoot. Bradley looking for an opening, intercepted by Warner. Here's Allen running the floor for Florida. Parsons on a kick out. Allen lets it fly. Tip in, goes down. Warner underneath the rim. Crawford pull up 3. And long rebound tracked down by Stevenson. It's a 3-point Kentucky lead.
That's what Billy Donovan liked to see just then. The 2 long-range shots. Obviously, you'd like to get that ball and track it down off the defensive glass.
There's Crawford against Mitchell. An even minute to play in this first half. Out of bounds. Kentucky turns it over. Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, an innocent man who's been in jail for 26 years, even though 2 lawyers knew from the start that he didn't do it. Plus, John McCain on 60 Minutes tonight. 32-29. Warner. And he puts it down.
Well, you go for that steal on the perimeter and miss. Nobody was home at all on the backside there, right? I mean, if you could just see it, 2 dribbles is way too many to go from 15 feet away to get to the glass.
2-second difference. Shot clock, the game clock. We're winding down in this very competitive first half at Rupp. 32-31 Kentucky.
And I am from a foul perspective right now. Billy Donovan is very happy with these basically two go-to type players on the bench and avoiding a 3rd foul.
Using clock, 6 to shoot. We'll have to work quickly. Bradley getting the step and draws the foul on Lucas. So Ramel Bradley, one of the best free throw shooters in the nation, will shoot a pair, 84%. But at the stripe, Kentucky is just 1 of 6. Ramel Bradley has some things he'd like to accomplish after graduating. Wants to be a hip-hop artist. Also would like to be the mayor of New York.
Boy, he likes a challenge, doesn't he?
You're saying the hip-hop artist?
That's a challenge. Well, you know, I've had a little experience with that. That wasn't that difficult. Well, I'm only catching your attention.
Really?
See if you're listening to me today.
Never heard your track.
Yeah, exactly. Mayor of New York. Pretty difficult job, though.
Bradley missing on the 2nd attempt. Last second shot. Warner off the glass from midcourt. End of the first half. Both teams shooting well over 50% from the field. And Kentucky with a 33-31 lead on Florida. Does the winner get a spot in the NCAA tournament? It's halftime as we head to New York and check in with Greg Gumbel. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Hanes. Look who we've got our Hanes on now. TIAA Cref Financial Services for the greater good. And by the new AT&T. Your world delivered. And getting ready for second half action. Kentucky with a 2-point lead on Florida. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarkle. Back in January, this did not look like it would be the scenario. It was Florida playing at a very high level. Kentucky was struggling. Roles have reversed here. Is this pretty much what you expected?
I thought so, and I think, you know, when you look at the 2 styles, I think Florida still in the beginning of this game were going up and down a little bit, got some better shot selections early. Then Kentucky went to what they do very well, put the clamps on you defensively, spread the floor a little bit, and got Crawford involved.
All right, let's take a look at our Hanes first half stats. The numbers, Florida, remember, hit on its first 7 shots from the field, so they finish at 58%, but got off to a scorching start. Kentucky shoots it at 56% in that first half at senior day, so let's put the spotlight on the 2 Kentucky seniors.
And I think you're going to need to see the spotlight on them in the second half. Bradley, in particular, going to the basket. Crawford started to do a little bit more, and now the double team. These 2 guys do most of the scoring, especially over the last 2 games. So it's one of those things where, you know, without Patterson in the lineup, they got to really work hard.
And Sylvia and Joe Crawford. Joe Crawford's parents in attendance here. Ramel Bradley's mom, Daisy Rice, also part of the crowd here at Rupp. We're underway in the second half. The bubble battle in the SEC, Kentucky and Florida, 2-point game. Jasper. Stevenson gets the start in the second half. He's got 11 points and 3 blocks. Calathis only 9 minutes in that first half because of foul trouble. Going down, Bradley able to get the ball back and save it. Shot clock winding down. Crawford, air ball on a 3. It's rebounded by Spates.
Not the way you want to start if you're Kentucky. A little sloppy and late getting into it. We saw that in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Hodge goes down. Good find. Calathis. Spates unable to bank it in, but a foul called, and Maurice Spates headed to the free throw line. And it's going to be Stevenson picking up the personal.
Well, he gets it across to him, and then he has that shot right there and just hurries it just a touch because the foul occurred right before he got into the position where he could shoot the basketball. So a tough break there for Spates.
Second foul on Terry Stevenson. Spates has 8 points. He has got all the tools, the long arms, the jump hook on the inside, very powerful. Runs the floor well. His perimeter game is developing. That's the one area that I'm sure Billy Donovan would like to see a bit of improvement, and then forget it. He has a chance to be unstoppable in the SEC.
Absolutely. Florida then coming back again with what we've seen in the first half, the 1-2-2 look. One thing to watch for with Bradley Iron, he averages 16 a game, but 11 of his points of the 16-point average come in the second half. So we'll see if he tries to get himself a little triggered here and get some looks.
Tied at 33. Jasper didn't have the baseline to drive. Here's Stevenson way outside. Shot clock is down to 10. Bradley will get things started. Spates shows on defense. Shot clock at 5. Bradley, long three. Rims out. And the rebound snatched by Spates.
A good job there by Werner also against Stevenson on the block out to allow Spates to maneuver. Nice look.
Oh, Calathes. What a feel. He finds Spates for the flush.
Now there's a guy going to his left. Not a backcourt violation. Didn't get totally across the court. But a great look there by Calathes. You're right, Ian, in terms of going away from the play.
And Florida back in front. Crawford one-on-one with Hodge. Gives it up. Here's Harris from Anchorage, Alaska. Tough shot. Oh. Stevenson comes flying in, and a foul called on a push. Werner was down there defensively for Florida.
They love the little high-low, and here comes the high screen, and bang, right down to the middle of the gut. But Calathes, it's just he waits, and then you see the look. But he gives it a look right before he passes. But instincts before that play, he understands that that's where the guy's going to be. And then I'll look just to make sure.
Second foul on Werner. Inside, Stevenson had blocked from behind. And Spates got him. It's going to be number 3 on the big man, Maurice Spates.
And there's a great reason why Billy Donovan puts Spates on the bench with about 2 minutes and change left in the first half, because that foul there would have been his 4th, and then you really have problems on if he picked up the 3rd at the end of the first half.
Donovan's going to make a change, though, after this first free throw. Stevenson connects. Alex Tyus, a freshman from St. Louis, Missouri, will check in replacing Spates.
And that's a substitution that Billy Donovan has to do, Ian, because that plays right into the same point. If he picks up another foul in the next minute or so, now you have approximately 16 minutes with 4 fouls. So now he's got to stretch him out. You know, he can slide him in and out, but he has to tell him each and every time for the next 4 or 5 minutes, don't foul, lay back, give up a bucket rather than that foul.
Here's Werner getting good position. Calathes lines it up. Can't hit the 3. Highest battling inside, and Kentucky throws it away. Stevenson was unable to find the open man. NCAA March Madness On Demand is back. Watch every game from the NCAA Championship online for free. Avoid the lines on game day. Sign up for a VIP pass at the new NCAA.com. Knotted at 35. Still early in this second half.
Looking for a back door.
Yeah, Werner couldn't find Calathes. He's being blanketed by Harris. Shot clock at 15. Lucas makes his move. They got stopped there, and Hodge drives in, unable to finish it.
Just a touch going away from the bucket that trip. Instead of crossing over and getting the shoulders towards the basket, they just went away a touch.
Crawford catching fire. Rebounded by Stevenson.
Boy, Stevenson having an afternoon, isn't he?
Harris a 3. Buries it.
Stevenson continues to do the work off the glass with 7 rebounds, Ian, and he's really a factor at both ends. Last trip defensively, he was the reason the layup did not occur on the first attempt.
38-35, Kentucky. Werner. Inside, Tyus. Off the glass, no. Nice. Werner keeps it alive, and Hodge able to save. Werner had it blocked by Stevenson. That's his 4th of the day. And a tie-up. Possession arrow to Kentucky. Unless they got the timeout. Could have been a foul called on the inside as players got bunched together on the interior.
And here's that look from long range. You work the offensive glass, you get it back, and then good things will happen for you because the court is totally spread out.
So Florida will retain it. Here's Werner. Off the back end.
Yep. 20,000 fans have a whistle. So thank God they don't give out whistles here.
No traveling called as Calathes trying to get the step. Oh, fans react on what they thought was a ticky-tack foul.
I think they were a little annoyed with the lack of the travel call possibly right before it, too.
And Harris just picked up his 4th personal foul. Ramon Harris goes to the bench. Mr. Basketball in the state of Alaska as a senior out of West Anchorage High School. 38-35, Kentucky. Long possession for Florida. Hodge to the offhand, unable to hit. Here's Bradley the other way. 1 week from now, we will find out who is in the field of 65. Catch the selection show right here on CBS. Oh, Stevenson! The slammer!
And you're sensing that Joe Crawford's starting to play a little better basketball than his first 3 minutes after the jitters were over. He's really got himself composed. The senior day afternoon is working out pretty nicely for him with a terrific delivery here.
And Stevenson is having the game of his life. 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. Monday, March 17th, The Wait is Over. The #1 comedy on television is back with all new episodes. 2.5 Men returns Monday, March 17th on CBS. 40-35, Kentucky leading Florida. 2 teams looking to get at-large bids unless they can put together some magic in the SEC tournament. Now, this is an interesting take. Potential spoilers. These are teams that are favored to win their respective conference tournaments. If they don't, they would become primary potential at-large teams. Butler, South Alabama, Kent State, Davidson, and Virginia Commonwealth.
And the combination of record and RPIs means that you have to take a look at it, and coaches like these two today definitely know what the spoiler role is about because it's going to affect one of them probably this season.
Oh, there are many people that believe Kentucky, as of this moment, could be the last team or last team of 2 or 3 into the tournament. Florida may be on the outside looking in.
That's why this game is so important from that perspective, and then also their tournament.
8-0 run. Parsons gives it up. Jump shot, Mitchell, no. He knew he missed it the second it came off his fingertips. Bradley, pull-up pop. And loose ball foul. It's going to be Parsons picking it up. Fourth team foul, second personal on Chandler Parsons off the miss from Bradley.
You have to look. It's just right in the middle of the screen just then it was with the push-off as he went for the basketball. So it wasn't one from behind, but it was from a side and a push-off.
Florida opened the game 7 of 7 from the field. They have not made 7 more since. They're 5 of 19 since that early spurt. Jasper thought about it, trying to add to this 6-point lead. Kentucky. Bradley sets up the offense. Kentucky remaining patient. Bradley in a matchup with Calathes.
Well, you have that matchup zone right now. Man-to-man when the ball is in your area.
Crawford pulls the trigger. He missed it badly. And rebound knocked outside. Here's Calathes in transition. Parsons, catch and shoot. They can't buy one.
No. And they're not, the looks the last 2 trips were not bad.
Wide open. Jasper, a three.
Bit of glass action, too. No,
he did.
Whoa.
44-35.
Boy, this place is getting louder and louder, and the defense is getting better and better.
It's an 11-0 run. Can Spates quiet them? Oh. No. Rims out.
Now watch the selections of Bradley in Kentucky right now. They'll take the air out of the ball. They'll play with an intent because they're willing to go into a half-court set. That's one of the things they were willing to do this afternoon, and play half-court at both ends of the floor. Florida
1 of 9 shooting the ball in the second half. Extending the zone. 10 to shoot. Bradley on a ball fake. The kick. Extra feed. Porter fending off. Shot clock winding down. Bradley fires. He's got it. A three.
Billy things over. Getting out of control right here the way Kentucky has just really regrouped after the half. A very, very solid performance across the board. And that guy right there, Bradley, knows how to pick angle to drop one in if that was the intent. And Bradley, a second half performer, finishing things off and doing a nice job for Kentucky here in the second half.
Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes. An innocent man who's been in jail for 26 years, even though 2 lawyers knew from the start that he didn't do it. Plus, John McCain, followed by Big Brother, Cold Case, and a new episode of Dexter. It's all coming up tonight on CBS. 47-35, Kentucky has its largest lead of the day. Go back to 1988. Larry Brown and Kansas went to the national championship game against Oklahoma. Danny Manning was dominant, 31 points, 18 rebounds. Jayhawks defeated the Sooners 83-79. However, the Jayhawks would not reach the tournament a year later, making them the last defending champion to not earn a trip to the big dance. Florida in jeopardy now, 2-time defending champions. Looked at this game as a pivotal one for this young Gator squad. Billy Donovan said for the development and growth of this team, they have to go through this emotionally, get a taste of what this is all about.
Well, they are getting a taste of it this afternoon. It's called Kentucky basketball. Methodical and deliberate at both ends of the floor.
It is a 14-0 Wildcat run. Space off the double. Werner is fouled. And it's Michael Porter who takes a tumble. So Dan Werner is going to the free throw line. First foul on Porter. Werner, 76% shooter. Heard some Matt Bonner comparisons, the former Gator. His ability to knock shots down from the field. This week, Dave's all new with Charlize Theron, Snoop Dogg, Jamie Presley, and Kate Beckinsale. Plus tomorrow, don't miss Jim Carrey and Paula Abdul only on CBS. That ends the Kentucky run. A pair of free throws for Werner. 47-37.
Oh, close to a backcourt coming up. Oof, just made it across.
But again, Kentucky has been very patient in their half-court sets, allowing the shot clock to drift down to 7, 6, 5 before getting into their offense completely.
Yeah, I think Billy Gillespie would like to see them get it across half court just a touch quicker.
Yeah.
Shot clock down again.
Oh. Jasper contested. Oh, he hits! Everything is working for the Wildcats.
Almost had a foul on Stevenson, his own teammate just then for the 4-point play if you wanted to go that far. Wow, what a shot.
Jasper is 3 of 3 from long range. He's got 11 points. Oh, good move. Calathis able to break down the defense off the dribble.
Last 2 trips we've seen Florida go towards the basket. They're looking for the layup, and they're looking to stop the clock a little bit to get to the free throw line.
Handle the pressure. Bradley with a ball fake. And again, they'll back it out. We will hit the 12-minute mark of this second half. Kentucky leads by 11. There's Stevenson on a handoff for Bradley, 10 to shoot. Calathis now comes out to guard Porter, 5 to shoot. And a foul called, a bailout, as Kentucky was able to use all that clock. And Calathis picked his 3rd personal foul. How about this one? How do you draw this one up, Jimmy?
I'm not quite sure there is a way to draw it up, but boy, just as long as it ends up going down. Look at a little bump by Stevenson, too.
It's all working right now for Kentucky. CBS Sports College Basketball coverage is sponsored by Lowe's. For all your home improvement needs, Lowe's. Let's build something together. DirecTV. Get over 90 of the best channels in HD now. And by the first ever G8 from Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. The Kentucky Wildcats 7-0 at home in the SEC this season. They've got a 50-39 lead on Florida. The bounce-back Cats, after opening this season under Billy Gillespie at 7-9. Some embarrassing losses to Gardner-Webb and San Diego. The pride of senior Ramel Bradley, nicknamed Smooth, out of New York City.
Clearly figured out what to do in the last 12 games or so, because Kentucky has turned it around, even with some of these injuries that have really stacked up on them.
Playing without Patrick Patterson, their talented freshman from Huntington, West Virginia. Also no Jody Meeks from Norcross, Georgia, the sophomore. Shot clock again down to 6. Stevenson. Who is this guy? Harry Stevenson. A huge effort today at Rupp. He came in averaging 5.4 points per game. He is 6 of 6 from the field, 16 points, 9 rebounds. The miss from Lucas. And Kentucky controls it.
Everything, the bounces, the fallaways.
Bradley. Oh, they're pouring it on. A three.
KY has it cooking right now, and this is just really across the board. You can see a bounce in the Kentucky players collectively.
Hodge, the layup, no. Werner's tip doesn't go. And saved by Florida. Out of the corner, Hodge nails it. That's a triple.
Boy, was that huge also. Just to take a little of the air out of the tires of Kentucky, the way they've been going up and down the floor. Just really confident the offensive end, and in no hurry whatsoever with the big lead.
55-42, using a lot of clock and then cashing in late in the shot clock.
Well, that's been the real changer for them, is the fact they've been going down to the last 5-6 seconds and below that, and still coming away with buckets.
And here we go again. Bradley. Stewart.
It's unbelievable.
It doesn't matter. Anything they do.
Wait till the last 3 seconds. Sit on that ball for 32 seconds of possession.
Florida is stymied. Incredible.
Well, there's the step.
And look like that right foot may have been on the line. It's a 2-pointer for A.J. Stewart. It's like the Midas touch right now. No matter who has the ball for Kentucky, they do something positive.
There's a pot of gold up there. Keep shooting it, right? I mean, that was, if you're Florida, you're saying, all right, this is pretty good shape. We got a 4-shot coming up here from Stewart. And there's the step across with the right as he brings it back.
Yep. Toe was on the line.
Just barely there. But regardless, look at this finish.
57-42. 20-3. The Kentucky bench has outscored the Florida bench. And Kentucky is not very deep. Foul is called out front. And Stewart, hearing it from his head coach, Billy Gillespie, his first foul. Biggest lead has been 16. It's currently a 15-point cushion for Kentucky.
And this young team, Florida, has to play a little bit more maturely right now. Great look again.
And Mitchell gets the open layup. Again, it's Calathis on the setup.
Well, these are the experiences that Billy Donovan knows that his team, a young team, has to get either ready for and through this year, for next year possibly, but he's not writing off this year. But he understands these difficult games are a must. Well, he's got his hands full right now with 9 minutes left in this game.
9 minutes, but against a team that is using all of the shot clock.
They only have 3 possessions.
A three. Derek Jasper, Kentucky is smoking hot.
Boy, and it doesn't matter whether you go long or short on the possessions. If you're going to get the results that they're getting shooting the basketball, boy, they are, like you said, just flat out lighting it up from all angles.
14 for Jasper. Inside, Mitchell gets the layup and the foul. So a chance at a conventional three-point play as Bradley will get charged with the personal. Coming up Monday, March 17th, America's favorite geeks are back. The Big Bang Theory returns at a new time with all new episodes beginning Monday, March 17th on CBS. Second foul on Ramel Bradley, and it sends Jonathan Mitchell, an 80% shooter, to the line. Can't complete it, but he's got the offensive rebound and a reset.
Florida needs to get one here.
Kalathis, count it, a three.
Or three. That helped in terms of a little bit of rhythm defensively. You know, the one thing I was just going to say, and they're doing it in terms of the full court press. Now let's see if Kentucky answers. They're trying to get him to play a little bit faster here with the trap. Instead of the 1-2-2, trap out of it to get Kentucky revved up.
Oh, they need this. Warner, a three, no. And the box out by Jasper for Kentucky, and now they'll take the air out of the ball. 60-49, Kentucky. They are 9 of 16 from three-point territory. That's 56%.
You wonder just how many more times in the next couple of possessions can Kentucky continue to be effective and answer and make shots.
Crawford against Hodge. Oh, sweet move by the senior Joe Crawford.
And a sweeter jumper. Boy, does he elevate, square his shoulders, extend, and great rotation.
13 for him. Kalathis absorbs the contact and a chance at a three-point play.
One thing they are doing well, though, Florida trying to get back into this game is they're going to the basket and trying to stop the clock. Another good hesitation drive to the hoop and one.
And they're doing it with a sense of urgency. 62-51, Kentucky. Kentucky leads by 11, shooting 57% from the field. Tremendous from three-point territory as well, limiting turnovers. Welcome back, everybody, here at Rupp. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. It's a tremendous month, isn't it?
Fabulous.
It's just tremendous.
Yeah. And this is a great setting here with this. I mean, it's still Florida has a little work to do here, but Kentucky on senior day, boy, it's really the vibes are going crazy. The emotions are wild.
Two very distinct philosophies in this game. Kentucky, it's been obvious, use the shot clock, be very patient, and still their ability to make plays late in the shot clock has been astounding. Florida has been more aggressive on the offensive end, and they picked up the tempo the last few possessions.
And Kentucky has just not reserved this for this afternoon because they have had the ability to do that in previous games. So they're comfortable taking the shot clock down. But today it's just been remarkable with a couple of the drops they've gotten. You know, maybe a little bit of luck. You get that double bounce by Stevenson on his jump shot from the top of the key to go down.
Kalathis, 14 points on 5 of 6 from the field, only 3 assists. Ramon Harris will check in, and he replaces A.J. Stewart, the freshman. 10-point lead for Kentucky. There's a trap, and Florida will get called on the foul as Harris was across the midcourt line. It's going to be Mitchell picking up his second. And he heads to the bench, replaced by Spates for Florida. 7-10 left. 16 fouls each.
We're seeing Billy Donovan's Florida team switch up the defenses, too, in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Back to a straight-up man-to-man right now, but we'll watch as we progress for the traps. Here comes the trap out of it again.
Harris trying to battle through it, uses the dribble. Crawford. Extra feed, Jasper down low, jarred loose, out of bounds. It's going the other way.
Well, that was some play just then.
Stevenson was trying to save it off a Florida defender.
See, now Stevenson has to be out of bounds at some point. Does he go down? Because you know what? If his feet aren't hitting the ground right there, but the two officials talked it over, and one went over to the other and said, hey, was he on the floor when he threw that ball back? And they nodded their heads in an agreement. Good work by the officials right there.
An opening right now for the Gators to cut this to single digits. Lucas to Kalathis.
Young players have to make good decisions, and he makes some good ones.
Lucas fires. 3 doesn't go, and the rebound tracked down by Parsons. Florida's got a reset.
Not a bad shot, though, and they know it.
There's Kalathis. Pops to the outside. Off the high screen. Warner is open. That's a 3. Buries it.
Nice spreading of the floor, using the whole floor right there. Good job by Calethis running the show with Lucas. Lucas shoots the ball at 44% from three, so his shot was not a bad one.
9 points for Dan Warner, the sophomore from Middletown, New Jersey. This is a 7-point game. Crawford, he answers with a three.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing, the senior day concept is you usually come out and you're rattled the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game because your emotions are trying to contain them. He has settled down terrifically.
Off the lob, a foul called. Kentucky wasn't allowing Spates to get near the basketball. Crawford's got 16 points in his final game at Rupp Arena.
And right now he's not thinking final game, though. What he's thinking about is the enjoyment of playing the game, and it's going well for him. He's shooting the ball well. He's getting good lift. Before the game, there were butterflies all over the place for him.
Ramel Bradley, the other senior, has 9 points and 6 assists. He just picked up his third foul. Spates at the line, a big one. Short. And rebounded by Stevenson. How about the play of Terry Stevenson, the sophomore? 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks.
And no question, not to take anything away from the seniors, that he has been the difference in this game.
Now Stevenson was not in attack mode, and he'll back it out. They'll use more clock.
Well, they still have another 12 seconds to go before attack mode comes into play.
How silly of me. Bradley with 8 to shoot. Jumper. And rebound controlled by Florida. Spates gets to the head for Calethis. Down by 10. Here come the Gators. Off the spin. Lucas swings it inside. Warner bumping bodies. It was clean. Oh. And he gives it away. Leak out. Bradley. He's got the angle. And the layup.
Cross-court pass is one thing. It's a negative to do that. But when you try to bounce it across the court like that, you're just asking for trouble. And Kentucky takes advantage of it.
Bradley's in double figures with 11. And careless. It went through the hands of Parsons. Unforced error by Florida. 67 to 55, 4.5 to play.
Well, it's a young man's game here for Florida, isn't it? The experience maybe catching up, the lack of experience, I should say, catching up to him. But now the doubles are continuing to come. They got to get Kentucky playing more aggressively.
There's Harris, 12 to shoot. Back into the hands of Bradley.
And see, once again, they're just settling on the shot clock.
The drive. Bradley rims out. And it's rebounded by Lucas. Smallest man on the floor comes up with a loose ball. Early offense. Spates.
Boy, you're having trouble delivering, having trouble catching the ball.
Spates. Jasper trying to save it. Out of bounds. Florida will hold on to it with 3:47 to play in this second half. Kentucky hopes a win is going to allow them to dance into the tournament.
The highway to hoops heaven all begins when you get the green light to go at the NCAA Basketball Selection Show next Sunday on CBS.
Coming up next, a bid in the field of 65 is on the line. The State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Championship game. Drake and Illinois State square off live from St. Louis right here on the home of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship, CBS Sports. That will be the next bid to be filled with Cornell, Winthrop, Austin Peay, and Belmont already part of the big dance. Joe Crawford on senior day. 16 points, 7 of 17 from the field. His senior counterpart, Ramel Bradley, 11 points, 6 assists. Off the quick feed, Parsons couldn't finish it. Rims out and tipped home. Spates is there.
Good setup, though, coming inbounds. Calethis looked away that trip and just lobbed it. When he turned his head to the left, flipped it to the right.
So back to a 10-point game, 3.5 remaining. Stevenson into the hands of Bradley. He's got 4 seconds to get it across. Calethis went for the steal. Foul call! And a chance for 3. Off the drive, Ramon Harris.
Well, one of the things we've seen Kentucky do is they kind of lull you into it. When the ball goes across, he comes in and watch the body action. Defensively, Mitchell just can't get there to square himself up to take the charge. He was moving. But we haven't seen Billy Gillespie's team really attack all that much as he attacks Jasper in a friendly sort of way over there. But over the top of the press, you have numbers and you go and attack and you're in pretty good shape.
59% free throw shooter. Harris converts. He's got 9. Everybody contributing for Kentucky today as Warner checks in, replacing Parsons.
And the way they've been able to answer, Ian, too, has been very, very solid for them. I mean, over this last 5 minutes, we've seen Florida try to get closer to the hoop, have some success doing that. But each and every time, it seems like Kentucky has come back to answer.
Spates, again, early offense. And Spates, he is a tremendous finisher around the rim.
Well, and he's a great positioner, too, before that ball is even thrown to him. We go to timeout. Yep, nice work by Billy Gillespie. Way down the other end.
30-second timeout taken by Gillespie with his team in front by 11. Take a look at the game reset. Each team with 3 timeouts remaining. Possession arrow favors Kentucky. 17 fouls on each squad. Hey, we talked about the bubble questions and the focus coming into this game, Jimmy, and we asked both coaches about it. I thought Billy Donovan's answer was right on point. He says, I don't know if a win guarantees us anything at this point. The circumstances seem to change every day.
Right.
Yeah, Billy Gillespie said, look, I'm not going to talk about the bubble talk. Billy Donovan understands that it's part of the conversation right now. Do you have a better feel for it after watching these two teams here this afternoon?
Well, I just think the way Kentucky has performed this afternoon, I think this goes a long way in getting them into the NCAA tournament. And I think at the same time, if you factor in the last 12, 13 games, they have really turned a nice corner.
10-2 over their last 12. Here's Bradley. And a foul called. Lucas comes out of there shaking his head. Shot clock was winding down. Bradley had nothing going on the offensive end, and he'll go to the line.
Well, I was wondering whether there was an extension of the arm also by Bradley to push before the play. I thought there might have been, but from that angle, there might have been a reach as the arm was coming at him, too.
Ramel Bradley, 2-year starter. And he missed it.
At 84%, they want him at the line.
Nice crossover. Lucas fending off. And a chance for 3. Crawford goes down in a heap.
I'm not sure if it wasn't Spates that got him as Spates was going to the basket, I believe. It's a nice move, though, by Lucas as he comes across. Watch this now. He's going to push his body across. Gets the bump because the defender's moving with him.
So Lucas did not get the call on the other end. He does get the call on this end, and Bradley picks up his 4th. Lucas, 11 points. And it's 70-62, back to single digits with 2:37 remaining. Again, the pressure from Florida.
Somebody's got to take the ball and go with it here against the man-to-man.
And Harris.
Wow, look at Calathes.
Stolen away. Here's Calathes.
Oh, watch out.
Foul called as Calathes is hit hard.
See, there's that little hesitation, Ian, in terms of you can see it a little bit with some of the Kentucky players. They're not catching it and going with it on the man-to-man. And look at Calathes. He knows he's going to get swapped right here. He just flings the ball up and tries to get it to go somewhere close to the basket. But he knew this was about shooting free throws this trip and sacrificing the body.
3rd foul on Jasper. Calathes, 14 points, 5 assists at the line. And he missed the first. Now 2 of 4 from the strike. They had cut it to 7. And then Crawford nailed a 3 to bring it back to 10. And this is the closest they've been since. Wow. Calathes misses on a pair. Warner's got the offensive rebound.
Boy, did he ever bail him out that trip.
Lucas a 3. Short. Knocks upstairs. Who wants it?
Oh, baby, this is fabulous basketball.
Lucas saves it for Calathes. Off penetration. And a timeout, Billy Donovan.
That was fabulous. Wow, the tournament is here, Ian.
2:06 to play. Kentucky up by 8. Game reset with Kentucky in front, 70-62. We have just over 2 minutes remaining here at Rupp. 2 timeouts left for Florida, 3 for Kentucky. Billy Donovan electing to use a timeout to settle his team down in what he probably deems a must possession.
Absolutely, and Werner was getting ready to fire that ball right in front of Billy, too. Fortunately, he didn't shoot. It wasn't one of those timeout, shot up, and it goes through. So big possession here.
They'll run a set play. Calathes to Spates. An easy deuce as Spates comes up with a throwdown. He's got 18 points, 7 rebounds. Pressure again. Can Kentucky handle it?
Well, they're always looking for the Florida traps. Werner's doing a great job there, too. Good timeout, though. No place to go. They better regroup and talk it over how to break a press.
Billy Gillespie just staring at his team as they come to the bench area in a 6-point game. And don't forget, coming up next, that's game 2 of our college basketball tripleheader today on CBS. Missouri Valley Championship, Illinois State against Drake. All the action coming up. Dick Enberg, Bob Wenzel here on CBS. A 7-0 run for Florida. Largest lead of the day, 16 for Kentucky. It's down to 6.
And here's where I think you want to clear Stevenson out of here and get the point guard, let him do his job. That's what you have him on the floor for, and if the double comes, he's better off making decisions than somebody else.
And Bradley is able to get it across into the hands of Jasper. Again, content in using clock, and Warner gives the foul out near midcourt.
That's great scouting, though, Ian. You have Jasper out there at 45%. You have Harris on the floor for Kentucky at 59%. This is a very good free throw shooting team at 75%. So why not stop the clock like that and not let them take the air out of the ball and take the time off the clock? That's a pretty good job there defensively.
3rd foul on Warner. And here is Jasper, 45% shooter. It rims out and rebounded by Spates.
Still plenty of time in this game, obviously, with possessions only down to 2. Oh, there's a hang. Yep, nice work there by Calathes.
And he's fouled, trying to turn the corner on Harris. And that's it. Ramon Harris is fouled out. 9 points for the sophomore. So Gillespie will have to make a change here. And Nick Calathes is headed to the free throw line. He just missed on a pair moments ago. Kentucky 70, Florida 64. Maybe an NCAA tournament on the line here. The committee will sit down and not only judge how this game affects their decision, but the big picture with Kentucky getting off to the slow start this season, opening the year at 7-9. They've won 10 of their last 12 under Billy Gillespie. Florida got off to a terrific start. Billy Donovan's young Gators with a revamped roster, but they have struggled of late. And they're looking for a defining win. This would be a pretty good one on the road at Rupp. Calathes at the line. 14 points. He is 2 of 5 shooting free throws today. Nails it.
And when you're thinking about Florida right now, they're starting to get into that little bit of a tough decision for a coach. You're 128. You have a 4-point if he makes this deficit to go over. So I think you avoid Bradley and Crawford, but play it real aggressive with the other 3 guys on the floor. Look for your traps. But don't be afraid to foul if you have to.
9-0 run. Bradley, the run out. He lays it in. Oh, what a play. Romeo Bradley.
He's come up big for Kentucky all season long in the second half.
Hodge to the hoop. No. Leaks outside. Bradley's got it. And a foul call.
Boy, was that ever a terrific decision, too, by Bradley to really challenge there in a tough situation for Kentucky. They were losing this lead, and then all of a sudden he decides to go. And watch how he has to use his body and somehow avoids by going from the strong left-hand side of the basket to the right hand to avoid the block from a guy coming from behind him.
A pivotal sequence for Kentucky. Bradley into attack mode and getting the deuce that the Wildcats so desperately needed. Calathes picks up his 4th foul. Bradley short at the line. 84% shooter, the senior. There's his mom, Daisy Rice.
One shot makes it a 3-possession game, though, so 1 out of 2 you can live with.
And And he knocks down the second. Ramel Bradley, emotional, exuberant senior, the vocal leader of this Kentucky squad. 1:05 left. 73-66. Florida needs points in a hurry. It's goaltending. Stevenson got it on the way down.
No, and he was just a hair late getting there, too, because they knew exactly what Spates was going to do. And you get a double.
Spates now with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 55 seconds left. Florida not fouling here. Bradley finds the open man.
I think you have to try fouling soon. Yep. You know, if you don't get the first one, if not the second one, I think you go immediately to it. But a good job again by Kentucky going over the top against Billy Donovan's team.
So free throws coming up for Kentucky. 47.5 left on the clock, and it's Derek Jasper once again. Double bonus here for Kentucky.
45% shooter.
No good.
You know, the numbers, if you do your homework coming down the stretch, and both of these coaches do their homework, you have to play the numbers coming down the stretch.
A timeout with Kentucky leading it 73-68. Back to Rupp in a moment. Today's Chevrolet players of the game: Nick Calathis from Florida, Perry Stevenson from Kentucky. In recognition of their determination and outstanding play, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Chevy, an American Revolution. Well, Kentucky sweating this one out with 47.5 remaining. They look to be in complete control, only to see Florida go on a run. Kentucky not making its free throws, 41% from the line. Second one, wow. Rims out for Jasper.
You don't really need the three right now. If they give you a quick two to the basket, you can take it.
Hodge gives it up. Calathis, 38 seconds left.
And they stop Spates that time going down the gut.
Here's Lucas now. 30 seconds left.
Great job by Kentucky.
Florida down 5. Lucas, no. Comes up short. Scramble for it. Warner saves. Lucas. It goes down with 23 seconds remaining. And a 3-point game. Kentucky with the ball and the lead.
Well, you talk about the intensity and the sense of urgency all squeezed into one little play just then. Great finish.
23 ticks of the clock remaining in Lexington. Game reset with 23 seconds remaining. Kentucky with a 73-70 lead on Florida. Two teams fighting to get into the NCAA tournament. And Billy Gillespie's squad is trying to hold on now for dear life. They've allowed an opening for Florida, and the Gators have taken advantage to get themselves back into it, Jimmy.
Now, if you're the two seniors, Bradley and Crawford, you got to believe that those two guys are going to be coming with a neon sign on their chest, trying to get the basketball in their hands. You know, Stevenson Porter's on the floor also. He's only taken a few shots this year.
Florida not fouling initially. Bradley needs some help. And he'll use a timeout. 17.8 left on the clock. They're going to squeeze every last millisecond out of this one in Kentucky. Pivotal number here. Kentucky came in shooting 75% from the free throw line as a team. Today, 39%, 7 of 18. Leading the SEC in that category. It's been an Achilles heel this afternoon.
And that's why you can't figure out NCAA basketball this time of year, because if you asked me whether they were going to shoot better on their home floor this afternoon with the comfort zone of being on their own home floor, I'd say there's no way they're going to shoot those numbers in such a negative fashion. Such an important inbounds pass here, and then Florida will probably decide to foul once it comes inbounds.
One possession game. Jasper! Oh! Just gets the timeout.
You wanted them to squeak this timeout, didn't you? Keep squeaking.
Unbelievable.
This is fabulous.
3-point game.
You sure can brew it.
Question is, can you sell it?
Made our first sale.
More bars in more places. Wherever your business takes you, depend on the network you can trust.
Am I going too fast for you?
Switch to AT&T.
We gotta celebrate.
We gotta expand.
AT&T. Your world delivered. Get our exclusive Walkman slider for only $49.99.
No timeouts remaining. Florida and Kentucky in a tight one. 3-point Kentucky lead. They've got the ball with 17.8 remaining.
And they have the possession arrow, too. I think that's one of the things on that graphic. Yeah, granted, 0 timeouts. That's huge for both teams. But now, entry pass comes in. I can catch the ball, kind of put it under my shirt, and hide it for a second or two. And then you get the ball right back again. So you can take some more time off the clock so they don't have to take one of those pressure, like, oh, I just got the ball, now I got to get rid of it type passes.
Gillespie reminded his team at the tail end of that timeout as they were leaving the bench area. Remember, no timeouts remaining. They've got to get it in. Jasper does. Crawford, the senior. Jarred loose. Out of bounds. Kentucky will retain it. 2 seconds came off the clock.
I think you're just really getting tight here with the time from Florida's perspective. I understand that they're trying to get the quick steal, but now I think they have to foul.
Jasper again floats it in for Crawford.
Wow, he fouled him, I thought.
Still no foul call. Oh. Ball knocked out of bounds by Spates with 10.4. Kentucky has been squeamish here. They're anticipating a foul from Florida, and they're just bunching close together to the ball and the man handling it. Oh. And this time Spates steps in front, and he gets Stevenson, who will head to the free throw line, a 76% shooter. He has had a brilliant afternoon. 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 blocks.
Oh, boy, he can do his best to put a capper on a great afternoon.
He is 4 of 6 from the line today.
Starting to chant Perry. I'd leave him alone.
Stevenson knocks it down. 2-possession game with 9.6 left. Stevenson. He nails it.
What a great afternoon. On senior day, no less.
5 seconds left. Ball to Calathis. Short, and that's it. Kentucky wins the bubble battle. Will this be enough for the Wildcats to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament? Coming up, the Missouri Valley Conference Championship between Drake and Illinois State. For Jim Spanarkel, I'm Ian Eagle. So long from Lexington, Kentucky, a winner over Florida. Much more still to come on CBS.